Hey, and welcome to episode 20 of Ina Knits. This is a video podcast about my passions for yarn and knitting. My name is Ina and I'm coming to you from Norway. So a warm welcome to you if you're new or if you're returning. I'm very happy that you are spending some time with me today. It is the middle of October right now, or we are approaching the end of October, and the days are definitely getting shorter and darker, and I'm losing daylight every day, and it makes it a bit more challenging to record video podcast with a decent amount of daylight, but it's still enough daylight for me to manage it. So, and I'm very much enjoy this time of year because I think it's very lovely with colder weather, and I enjoy spending time outdoors and looking at all the beautiful colors and walking around in the crisp fresh air, and then go back inside and cuddle up on the couch with some knitting and some candles and some hot beverage, maybe a cup of tea. That's super lovely. Yeah, that's definitely something I enjoy every year during fall. So I don't have very much time to record an episode today, but I will do my best to get through what I want to share with you, and hopefully without too many breaks, and hopefully before the kids start to come home from school. I have a different backdrop today as well, and the reason for that is that I usually record in my 13-year-old daughter's bedroom, but right now it is not very presentable. So I didn't want to spend time on making her bed and declutter for her before I started recording. So I just found a different spot, and so that's why. Anyway, I have a Ravelry group for this podcast, and it is called Ina Knits, and that is also my nickname on Instagram if you'd like to follow me there. Ina.knits. That's my nick on Instagram. And on Ravelry we have a Ravelry group, and right now we are knitting together the Lumpy Space Shawl by Stephen West. And we started this knit along on September 1st, and it will run through the end of November. And we are chatting about it in the Ravelry group, and we also have a finished object thread. I know that some of you have already finished your shawls, and I'm anxiously awaiting for finished shawl pictures in the finished FO thread. And it's so much fun to knit something together like that. It's almost like having a virtual knit night. Just keeps on going for many weeks, and yeah, I have been enjoying that so much. My shawl has been on the hold for a couple of weeks, but I've now picked it up again and are knitting along on my section 3. I will show you that in just a second. So it's not too late to join the knit along now, because we still have almost a month and a half until the knit along ends, so you will probably have plenty of time to cast one on now if you like. We do have some awesome prizes that I will draw winners for when the knit along ends, and I showed you most of the prizes in my last episode. We have had some wonderful yarn donations from Carrie, which she has a dye studio in Texas in the States called Showreel Studios. We also have a wonderful sock pattern design that can also be yours if you win it, and that was donated by Katrina. She has a podcast called The Mystic Knitter. And I will also be putting together for a final prize some lovely things from my stash. So stay tuned for that. So please join if you haven't already, and you can also use the hashtag Lumpy Space KAL on social medias. And I will probably draw one winner from the hashtag on Instagram, and one winner from or two winners from the finished object thread, and one winner from the chatter thread on Ravelry, just so you know. So you don't actually have to finish your shawl in order to be eligible for one of the prizes. Now over to finished objects. I have one finished object for you this time, and it is a pair of socks. And these are the Minipetini socks, which is a lovely pattern by Ellen Bergsrønning, and she is one of the ladies behind the Garnbutikken Fortuna podcast. Also talked about their podcast in the last episode. And it is in Norwegian, but I encourage you to go and look them up if you haven't already, because they are so inspiring and makes gorgeous things. These socks were made out of 150 gram hank of hand-dyed Filcolana Arwetta Classic. And you know, Filcolana Arwetta is a commercial yarn brand, and when it says hand-dyed, I'm not quite sure if it's actually hand-dyed. I think they're more like featuring a hand-dyeing effect. So that's what you can see here. The repetitions of the colors throughout is quite steady, so I suspect that it's not very hand-dyed at all. And the other yarn that I used is 20 gram mini that I got from Ulltøsene. And it came with a Sockblank that I purchased from them, but I didn't use it with the Sockblank. I have saved it, and now I've figured it was a perfect match with the Arwetta, because it has quite a lot of bright blue and turquoise. Yes. And yeah, so the design here is kind of a fading effect from the mini and through to the main color, and I knit the leg a whole lot shorter than it was supposed to according to the pattern. And that means that I have quite a lot left, both of the mini and of the main color. I think I actually have yeah, I have a decent nuggets left. I think it's about 6 or 7 grams of the 20-gram mini. And I have 13 grams left from the 50-gram hank. So that's yeah. I could have made much larger socks if I wanted to, but I didn't. These are looking a bit sloppy because I have worn them once. About the heel, in the pattern it is described short row heel, and I'm not very I'm not quite sure, but I think it's kind of a German short row heel, but don't quote me on that. I got it quite right. I think it's looking alright, but I have been knitting a lot of socks using the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and oh, I just adore how that heel looks. So I have to admit, on the second sock, I actually went for the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and yeah. You actually see a small hole there. No, it's not a hole, it's just a dark stitch. Whew, that was a relief. But they wear quite similarly, as you can see. It's not a big difference. So it's only my personal preference that I enjoy knitting the Fish Lips Kiss heel a lot better than I enjoy the other kinds of short row heels. So very happy with my socks. They are bright, and yeah, I very happy that I could crank out these socks from 2 kinds of yarns from my stash. That's always a good feeling. So speaking of socks, I have 2 other pairs of socks on the needles. And the first one I did show you the beginning of last time. And here they are today. So the marker here is the status of the sock on my last episode. So I have knitted, yeah, quite a lot since last time. I've knitted some progress has been made. So these are obviously knitting 2 at a time on magic loop, which is a method that I very much enjoy. But I also enjoy knitting with double pointed needles, so I need to vary the techniques that I use. Otherwise I will get tired of them. And it is knit out of a Sockblank, and this is Sockblank from Countess Ablaze. This is a double knit Sockblank, meaning that I pull out 2 strands of fingering weights at the same time, and that is why I knit them 2 at a time, because then it's much more manageable, or the yarn management is much more much easier. And I can't believe how similar these are turning out. So that is, the upside of knitting from a double strands Sockblank. So I haven't done this before, and I think it's super exciting. It's just extremely fascinating to see how the pattern turns out as you're knitting. And I originally wanted to put in some fish lips kiss heels on these, but I have been reconsidering it, and I'm now determined to continue knitting these and knit them as sock tubes. And when I've casted on the toes, I will do afterthought heels. And then I mean afterthought everything heels, which I've done before as well. I will then just measure where the heel are supposed to come in, and I will cut in the middle of the row and undo the stitches to the sides, and then I will pick up all the stitches and do a classic afterthought heel. So that's the plan. The second pair of socks is this little fellow and this one. And they are becoming socks for my nephew, or one of my nephews. I have two nephews, and I'm planning to knit them both a pair of socks for Christmas. So this is the first pair, and it is turning out to be the smaller pair, or yeah. So I will have to knit the next pair a little bit larger. It's not a huge difference between them, but a little bit it is. I really enjoy these because both due to the fact that the color combo is so inspiring to look at. This is a I would call it a brown, but it's quite light and towards orange. And so this is Drops Fable, color number 110, and the blue-gray stripe is Patons Kroy socks, and I'm not sure about the color number, I can't see it, but I didn't know that it was striping like this. So that was a pleasant surprise. I think these will be perfect socks for a little man. And I put in a fish lips kiss heel, and I switched over to the brown orange color quite early before the toe decrease, just because I have two balls of this Patons Kroy, and I really wanted to make a kind of matching socks for my two nephews, and I hope to have enough yarn for them both. So that was all my socks at the moment, and I have been knitting other things as well. So So if you saw my last episode, you would have seen that I just casted on a new sweater. And the sweater is still going strong on the needles. This is the Arboreal sweater, which is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass. It has a beautiful patterned yoke, and I'm all done with the patterning and the increases, because this is obviously knitted top down. And I have divided for sleeves, and I'm finished with sleeve number 1. And I'm on sleeve number 2. And I'm using yeah, this is knit with DK weight. I'm using DyeNinja in High Twist Merino DK. All About Eve. And it's like butter to knit with. It's super soft and it just flies off the needles. It's very... Now that I'm just knitting stockinette, it's you know, going quite fast. So it's perfect TV knitting right now, and it will obviously stay that way because it's only plain stockinettes for the whole body as well. And yes, for the pattern, the leaf motif, I have been using Lolodidit, and this is a Hippo for Mom. It's called colorway, and it's Lolo's favorites, which is merino, cashmere, and nylon. So I hold that yarn double to match it with the DK weight, and I think this will be... I hope it will turn out just as I imagined. I have gone for a size that is slightly bigger than I usually would, and that's just because I'd like this to be a bit roomy and comfy sweater for the winter months. And I am planning to block out, or not block out, but I will steam block it with my iron to even out the pattern. And yeah, because this is all merino, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to, you know, wash it and block it after I'm finished knitting. I'll probably have to see how it turns out. I will though need to wash it at one point anyway. If you have any advice on that, please let me know. But I can't get enough of this beautiful burgundy color, and you know, combined with the quite subtle gray, and you have quite a few speckles in the gray, and that makes me so happy. You have some blues and some pinks, and yeah, and even some darker spots as well. So yes, that's my Arboreal sweater at the moment, and this will definitely be finished before Christmas because I'm planning for it to be my Christmas sweater this year. Next up is the Lumpy Space Shawl, and it's now a bit challenging to show you properly because I'm knitting on the outer border of the shawl, so I think I have above 400 stitches on the needles, and I'm knitting in the round, or at least I'm knitting on a long cabled knitting needle, but it's obviously not long enough so I can flatten out the shawl and show you. So it's like this. But anyway, well, I can show you like this. So this is the characteristic centerpiece of the shawl. It's a diamond piece, and you have these two sections on either side. They are like mirrored pieces, on each side. And I've striped the yarn from the center together with a very fresh green color. And then on the outer section I'm using this yarn, and it's not brown and it's not burgundy and it's not pink, but it's something in between. You can see the color better here. Oh, I think it's super beautiful. So I mentioned all of the yarns and colors several times now, but to recap, this green color is merino yarn from Tweedy Todd. It's called Gump. And then this is Ancient Arts yarns, and it's a superwash merino, and it's called Little Wild Things. And this one is from Martin's Lab, and it's 100% merino, called For the Love. So this is how the shawl will turn out in the end. And you see I'm working on this outer section right now. And because I have so many stitches on the needles, it takes quite a while to get through to the other end. You are supposed to knit in the round, and because you're creating garter stitches, you then, according to the pattern, you need to work one knit row and then you need to work one purl row. But, and this is, you know, the main advantage of knitting together with a lot of experienced and clever knitters. In a chatter thread in my Ravelry group, one of the knitters who has, I think she has knitted this shawl a couple of times before, she suggested to us that we would then just knit the shawl flat, so back and forth. In that way you just have to knit all the time and you skip all the purl stitches, and you are left with you know, just the edge where you're turning the work, and you need to weave the purl bumps of that edge together with the other edge, and you wouldn't notice at all that it has been grafted together. So that was my original plan, and then I started to knit back and forth, and then another co-knitter told me that, what if you just switch when you come to the end of knitting flat back and forth, and then you just switch the last stitch with the first stitch of the previous round, and then you turn the work and knit all the way the other way. And just because then you don't have to graft together the edge at the end either. So that's what I'm doing. And it's not very visible. And this one I need to do something about. That's the end that I need to weave in sometime. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. You know, I haven't come very far, so it's not very easy to see. So, you know, knitters are super inventive, and even though, you know, the designs of Stephen West, they are made to be easy and seamless and with a minimal amount of work to do once you are finished, there are probably still room for improvement. And we are different. Some of us enjoy knitting purl stitches, but me personally, I would much rather continue in plain stockinettes or knitting, because that's way more faster for me. Yes. So I am very much enjoying my Lumpy Space, and I can't recommend this pattern highly enough. And one more thing, look at this super cute progress keeper. This was a gift to me from Lily of Nordic Stitches, and Lily has decided to close her Etsy shop where she sells progress keepers and stitch markers, and she now has a sale going on for the rest of the content of her shop. So I suggest that you go over to her channel and check out that discount code and get some of her gorgeous progress keepers before they are all gone. The last thing that's on my needles right now is a pair of mittens. And these are the spooky Selbu mittens. Speaking of Lily of Nordic Stitches, because this is her pattern that she released a couple of weeks ago. Aren't they just super, super gorgeous? I'm just in love with that smiling pumpkin. And you have the Selbu rose and you have the spider on the top. And this is how my mitten is looking. And I am currently working on the thumb. And I also think that the backside of the mitten is so beautiful, with these chevrons and the lice inside of the stripes there. Ingenious, Lily. You really nailed this design. So I will put it on for you. So it's fitting like a glove. And turning out so nice. And I have actually cast it on for the second mitten. So I'm working the thumb and the cuff at the same time. Don't ask me why. And my goal is, of course, to finish the mitten before Halloween. And I have high hopes that that will happen. The yarn I'm using is Finull from Rauma. And the brown is an old Finull with the old labels. And it is color number 411. And this is a light blue, which is color 23. And I had both of these in my stash, so they are not very, Halloween-y like, but I am thinking about stitching the eyes, the nose and the mouth with a light yellow, just to create some life in that pumpkin face. I think that will be adorable, and it will also cheer up the color combo a little bit. So that was all that I had on the needles, or I have other things on the needles as well, but this is things that I have made decent amount of progress on since the last time I spoke to you. Yes, I do have some acquisitions as well. It's not a whole lot, but it's some, and I will share with you the things that I got. So you know, Lily from the Nordic Stitches design and podcast, I gifted her some things when we met earlier this year, in August I believe it was. We had a meetup and we knitted together for an hour or two and had such a lovely time. And then she told me she had some yarn that she wasn't planning to use, and she wondered if I would like to adopt some balls of yarn from her, and of course I say yes. So I got 6 balls of Drops alpaca silk, and this is a dusty mint colorway. And she also sent me some Drops baby merino in a grey, heather grey color. Am I not lucky? So I got both a sweater's quantity of this and a small sweater quantity of this. Wow, thank you so much, Lily. You're an angel. And she also included some of her beautiful progress keepers. I especially adore these mittens. I will take it out of the bag. These are just so beautiful. It's a pair of mittens with color work and a little bow tie. You can't have enough stitch markers and progress keepers, that's for sure. I am hello. I have a 3 months monthly subscription on sock yarn from Milla's Mikrofargeri. She's a local to me dyer in Trondheim, and I've heard of her yarn through Instagram, and I think she makes beautiful things. So I now got the second of the installments of this monthly subscription yarn, and it's like this, and it's very autumnal and, you know, pumpkin appropriate. It's super beautiful. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that, but we shall see. So her club is called Socker som rocker Garn Club. And if you see down here, here is her Instagram account. And this is superwash merino, and it's, yeah, quite high twist yarn. That's something I very much enjoy working with. That's that. I also did purchase a couple of nice things from Garn, Blade Garn. Blade Garn is this magazine, and it's a Norwegian knitting magazine, and I believe you can that it's made in an English translation as well. And it's full of beautiful designs and pictures. You have some interviews and interesting articles, and it's a lovely magazine, and I have been buying quite a few of these because I think it's such a great thing that we have a knitting magazine of this quality that's Norwegian made or Norway based. And I think my favorite of all the designs in the magazine is this cardigan. And if you see closely, it has a beautiful stitch pattern on it. So I'm dreaming about knitting myself a version of this winter. I also bought, I couldn't resist because they were selling some self-striping sock yarn. And you know me and self-striping sock yarn, can't have enough of it. And it's a very sturdy yarn, it seems like. It's very similar to the qualities of Regia and Opal and Fabel. So this is Grundel. Seems like a German, Deutsch German yarn brand. Hot socks. And the color is 2. Color 2. So that was my purchases from Bladegarn. They have a wonderful online shop. Finally, so if you have followed me on Instagram, on my Instagram stories I have shared that I've made a couple of trips to Selbu. And well, I live quite close to Selbu, you know, the Selbu mittens and the Selbu patterns and everything. They originate from a little place nearby where I live called Selbu. And it's a 45 minutes drive from my house to the town center of Selbu. And I have been going there every 2 weeks now for some time because I'm having some physical therapy there. Well, yeah. Long story short, I need to take that drive, and I thought that would be a shame to visit Selbu so often without paying a visit to Husfliden in Selbu. And Husfliden, you know, the Norwegian Husflid is a shop where they sell Norwegian, or you know, mostly Norwegian yarns and patterns, and they also the Norwegian bunad, which is our national costume, and they have several sewing and knitting knitters and sewers connected to them. So you can order things, and they sells a lot of hand knits and a lot of, you know, things that are related to the way Norwegians were dressed in the old days. So, and they also have their own yarn in Selbu Husflid, because Selbu is very well known for their Selbu mittens and the Selbu patterns. So only in that shop in Selbu you can purchase a yarn called Selbu Husflid garn. And this is a yarn that's made especially for the original Selbu mittens that they hand knit in Selbu. Isn't that amazing? And it is I would describe it as a DK weight yarn. It is 105 meters per 50-gram ball. And it is produced by one of the larger yarn producers in Norway. It's actually Sandnes Garn who produces that yarn, but it's only produced for Husfliden on Selbu, so that's the only place you can actually buy it. So I bought some yarn and two balls of white and one ball of black would be enough for one pair of Selbu mittens, according to the lady I spoke to there. So I bought double the amount, and that would be enough for 2 pairs of Selbu mittens. I also bought this little booklet, which is a pattern booklet from Rauma, and it's full of Selbu patterns, and it's both mittens and long-legged socks, knee-highs, and here you got some hats, and you even got some pointy. So quite intricate. These are actually gloves. And since this is my episode number 20, I thought it would be super appropriate to have a little giveaway to celebrate that many of you have been hanging out with me for 20 episodes. That's quite amazing. I am, as always, super grateful for you lovely viewers who are sticking with me and makes podcasting for me so much fun. And if you like to participate in this giveaway, you need to drop a comment below this video here on YouTube and press the like button. And if you haven't already, you need to subscribe to my channel. And please let me know in the comment if you are partaking in the giveaway. So I will be giving away three balls of Selbu Husflid yarn to one lucky winner. And also I will give away the booklet of Selbu patterns. The patterns are written in Norwegian, but they are full of charts. So, and I will be happy to help you with some easy translations of the basics if that's needed. So please drop a comment below and let me know if you would like to take part in that giveaway. And I will draw for a winner on November 1st. So that's all for now, and I hope that you enjoyed watching and that you have a lovely autumn-fall season as I do. And I will put some footage from my trip to Selbu here at the end, so please stay tuned if you would like to see how it's like inside that Selbu Husflid shop. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!